If you would like to learn how... Dear brothers, it's about quality, not quantity.
So guys, it should be your conversation, the way you flow, your presence is enough for a woman to want to be around you, not how much money you spend.
Unmute. Dear sisters, it's about knowing your value.
My sisters out there, don't be afraid to scare a guy off just because you have standards.
Dear brothers, dear sisters, it's time to come together.
What up, what up, what up? It's your man Mo back in the DBDS Live studio here with your man Mel Money. What up, Mel Money?
Hey, what's going on, Mo, man? We have a very exciting show today, man. And I'm just pretty much imp. And I just want my people to remain safe out there during this whole pandemic. Just make sure you're practicing social distancing. And, you know, shout out to all the small businesses doing their thing. Shout out to everyone doing their thing.
No doubt, man. We hope y'all, man. I know it's a hard time, man. Just go ahead and, you know, keep grinding, man, to get through this. I know it's a tough time, but, you know, hopefully you could enjoy some of this programming, man. You know, we're here for you. All right, check this out. Today's show is controversial, and we like it that way. We love it that way. We're going to be talking about why men play games. All right, now let me just set the stage here. We're not talking about why women play games. We're not talking about why everybody play games. It's why men play games. We are focused on men today, and that's where we want to keep it. So all your comments, we focusing on men. We're going to deliver the message, and hopefully it can help somebody. All right, check this out. We're going to be talking about why men play games. One of the reasons could be they're looking for a surrogate mother. All right, we're gonna get into that detail and explain exactly what that is. It's heavy duty, but it's what it is. It's a real deal, man. It's a real thing that happens. Sexual gratification. We all know about that. No explanation needed. An insurance policy. We got to keep a rotating bench, and a lot of y'all know why. Easily influenced by friends and society. You know, we got a lot of different avenues of people saying, listen, have you a whole bunch of women, man, and you know, do this and do that. And some people are easily influenced by those types of messages. And financial support. All right. You know, if you can find a woman that's paid, man, you could probably sit back. You know, hey, it happens. I would never do it, but it happens. So listen, we're gonna get into all that. We got a crazy panel. Mel Money.
Yes, man. And before we even get started, I just want to give a shout out to all the DBDS family that's been very supportive from day one. We greatly appreciate you guys. Again, shout out to all the small businesses doing their thing, whether you're you own a hair salon or whether you're out there just trying to make a way for your family. I salute you. Just make sure you're doing this safe. And even though we're so far apart, we could work together and we'll pull together as a unit.
No doubt. Now, listen, today we got some really good listen, professional level. Y'all should be actually paying, man. Matter of fact, I might have to throw up our PayPal banner, Mel, so we can get some donations, man. Because the people coming on this show got the serious advice, you know. So sit back, listen up, man. We're gonna bring them in the studio now so y'all can meet them. All right. So right now, I'm about to bring in my man Chance. Welcome to DBDS Live, Chance.
What's going on, brothers?
Oh man, we all good, man. How you doing today?
Man, I'm maintaining, trying to keep my head up in this difficult, times that we're living in, but everything's good. No complaints.
All right. Tell the people a little bit about yourself and why you on the show today, man.
Well, my name, as you know, is Chance Santos. I'm a firm believer in everything Black. Not that I'm against anything else, but I'm just for supporting my own community, being that we can all see that there's not a lot of support out there for us. So any chance that I get to uplift, through messages, and for the most part, Black women, because that's all I know. That's what I grew up with. So I'm a staunch supporter of Black and brown women. And I think we really need to get to the point where more Black men have positive things to say about Black women, as well as we need more Black women having positive things to say about Black men, regardless of the negative things that are going to always be there. We need to start being more serious about uplifting one another. And I'm here in ATL, Georgia, y'all.
There it is. Chance is in the building. Georgia's in the building. And we're going to start talking about some uplifting right now. I'm bringing in my girl, Tonisha, in the building. Hello, Tonisha. Welcome to DBDS Live.
Hello.
Hey,
Tonisha. Thank you. Hey. Thank you for being here. All right. Tell the people a little bit about yourself and why you're here today.
All right. Well, I am Tonisha Dawson. I am an author. I have a master's in metaphysics and a bachelor's in holistic life coaching with a focus on relationships. And I am also a master beauty and business educator.
Okay.
And I'm here just to talk to the people. Just to talk to the people.
Yes.
Mel, I told them they should be paying today. I told them, see, you heard that, man. So look it. And we got one more final guest, our special guest. Princess is in the building. Hello, Princess. Welcome to DBDS Live.
Hey, Princess, how you doing?
Mike.
All right, we look like we got some technical difficulties with Princess here, but guess what? We just roll right through this. We'll be right back. We'll bring her right back in. Hold on, sit tight for a minute right now. I'm gonna bring it to you, Mel Money. Keep us entertained, man, until we can get Princess back. I'm gonna work with her.
Absolutely. So listen, we got this section called the Anonymous DBDS Post, where people post their issues and they look for someone to help them elevate their relationship. They just pretty much looking for positive feedback. So it reads, so long story short, my fiance was flirting with this girl behind my back, and I caught him and he ended it because he didn't want to jeopardize our relationship. Fast forward to almost a year later, I see today that he was looking her up again on Facebook. Mind you, they aren't friends. So should I say I saw it or let it be? He knows I have trust issues because I've been cheated on by everyone I've been with, except him, because all he did was flirt with her, but deep down inside, it hurts. I would have never expected it from him. He always says that, why would he trick around when I gave him a daughter and wants to build a future with me? I just can't get over this, and it's putting a real damper on my health and my heart. I love this man so much, but I'm not sure if I want to sit here and worry all the time he's flirting. We've been together for 6 years. I understand that no relationship is perfect, but I want this to stop. I know it's not cheating and all, but still it's troublesome. Just really looking for advice from some positive people, because crying every day is not a good experience at all. How can I turn this around and make sure that this man knows that I'm the one for him?
All right, before we go to my exquisite cast, let me see if I can get Princess back in the studio. All right, welcome to DBDS Live, Princess. See if we can hear you now. Uh-oh, we still can't hear you.
Oh, no.
Can you hear me now?
Ah, there we go.
There we go.
Thank God.
That's how we do it, boy. Ain't nobody sweating, man. Ain't nobody sweating. All right, so listen, welcome to DBDS Live, Princess. Listen, tell the people a little bit about yourself and why you're here today.
So my name is Princess Hester. I'm from the Connecticut area. I am an author, a financial educator, a certified motivational speaker, as well as a life coach. And I'm all about empowering women. I'm here on this show today because I want to, give a little bit of insight of how I feel about certain particular topics in regards to relationships. And I'm just here to, talk to the people and grow and, unify our women and get us all together and, just empower. I'm all about empowerment.
Love that.
Do that. Yes, absolutely. That's what we need. We need a lot of that. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, hopefully y'all memory is better than mine, because if you don't remember the scenario, I may have to have Mel run through it again. Are y'all good, or y'all want to hear it again one more time?
Did Princess hear it?
I heard the last part about the flirting. I think I heard enough to kind of give me yeah.
Okay. So. All right. All right. So I'm going to come to you, Chance. Talk to us, Chance, on this scenario, man. See if we can help this lady out.
The flirting. See, that's a difficult thing, because I'm going to be totally honest with you. It's been something that I've even struggled with. And with, mind you, and when I say that, I'll say it's with no intention of physically being with someone else. But I think sometimes in relationships, we have a tendency to not totally evaluate what our personal needs are. So we look at the physical aspect and the fact that we just kind of get along with each other as if that's enough to hold the relationship together. And we don't have enough real conversations on things that really are important in order to maintain a relationship. I've been in a personal situation myself where I may be with someone and I love this person, but it just feels like something's missing. I can't exactly pinpoint it, but the communication that we're having is not there. And I think in relationships, we have a tendency to get worried about not hurting our significant other. So sometimes with that in mind, we make poor decisions. And those poor decisions will be looking for something in someone else instead of trying to resolve what's missing with the mate that you have. And that's something that I think we all need to get better at. And, you know, like with my wife, for example, she's not the communicator that I am. So I'm the type of person that anytime anything comes into play, I have no problem speaking my mind or saying what I feel may be needed, whether it's something that I need to do or something that I think that she could do to help us grow closer or draw closer together. This is a very difficult topic, and it really comes down to communication and really having an open and honest communication with who you're with.
No doubt. Communication is always, listen, our saying in DBDS is communication is king. All right. Communication is always king. All right. We're going to go to you, Tonisha. Talk to us about this one. Give us your insight on it.
Well, first and foremost, I don't believe in going through phones and passwords and Facebooks and wallets and any of that. So if you look for something, you're going to find it. I'm a firm believer of that. And even when you're looking for it and you're going to find it, it could be a perception of what you're looking for. Secondly, so that's first and foremost. I just don't do that. I feel like the moment that I have to start doing that, the relationship's over for me because I don't trust you. It's not even on my radar. My husband gives me his passcode to his phone every single time because I don't remember it to get into the phone next time. So it's not on my radar. But secondly, a lot of times flirting is not a reflection of you or the relationship. Sometimes it's that person has some inner issues that they need to work out for validation. They, like Chance said, every time you're like on social media or whatever, social media is a beast. It could be the best thing that ever happened to your business, and it could be the worst thing that ever happened to your relationship because it allows you to be something that you're not in real life. So it's a game. It's a perception. It is a facade in certain situations. So the flirting, a lot of times people just want the validation from flirting. It might not even get that far. But for advice for baby girl, I would just tell her now that she's seen it, she can't unsee it. So now she's going to have the tough conversation and tell him that makes her feel uncomfortable. She doesn't like it. I'm not sure if he said that it wasn't cheating, right? He was just online flirting. Then you're just going to have to put your big girl panties on and have that conversation and really ask him, like, is there something missing? And don't put the blame on yourself, but ask him, like, what is it? Because sometimes it just takes asking the question. And sometimes they don't really know. It's no different than watching porn. Some people are just addicted. They can't stop. It's not that you are doing anything wrong or something's missing. They just can't not do it based on themselves.
Communication again. Communication is king. Princess, what's your thoughts on this?
I totally agree with Chance and Tonisha. I think clear communication is the most important thing. If you don't have any clear communication, you're really wasting your time because here, this young woman, she's afraid. It seems like she's afraid to approach him about the situation. And I think that, having that conversation is what opens up the gate for everything else. And the tears that is, coming behind as a result of this flirting online and everything, I think that if she reveals to him that she's uncomfortable and just talk to him about it, I think she would feel relieved and then she can let go some of those tears. And then I also feel that, as Tonisha said, maybe there's something missing. Some people are addicted to social media. Some people just have certain habits. They just can't stop flirting. Some people are just very flirtatious. And my thing is, what did you see when you first got into a relationship with him? And how long did you allow this to go on? Because you're going to see the signs in the beginning. Don't think that when you get into a relationship that it's just going to change.
No.
He flirted with you as to why he got you in the first place, probably. And there's no telling what it's no telling what type of situation he was in, but you seen it and it was attractive. And some men have natural charm. Like I see married men all the time who break their neck and be looking at me. And I'm like, I'm single, but you're married. But the woman, she is willing to allow it to happen. So I feel that she needs to assess herself. Maybe she has some insecurities as to why she doesn't want to confront him. Because if she confronts him, maybe she's afraid that he might leave her. So some women will deal with certain things for a very long time and will deal with the tears and deal with the heartache, knowing that they're not happy. And I think that's a problem. I think as a woman, you should never allow anyone, whether it's a man, a woman, a friend, a family member, you should never allow someone to take away that self-dignity that you should have for yourself. And you should be comfortable enough to approach a person, whoever it is, and tell them, this is how I feel. This is how you make me feel. Is it something that I'm doing, or is this something that you're doing? How can we come together and figure out the situation together? Because as Tonisha said, you don't have anything. And like Chance said, if you don't have communication, you don't have anything. And a lot of people in relationships are afraid of opening up about certain conversations. So how do you get comfortable with that conversation, right? So you have to be willing to really dig deep into your relationship to find out what it is that you guys need to work on. And when building a foundation, it's supposed to be solid from the get-go. You can't be on a rocky foundation that's already crumbling down and think that as the relationship progresses that you're going to be happy and that everything's going to come back together. That's just not how it works. That's just not how science works. And so I just think that, you know, she needs to go back, assess how when she first met him, how was it in the beginning? How did she feel? Did the flirtatious, him flirting, did it increase? Is it just on social media? Is it on the outside? How is he doing it? Is he disrespecting her? Is he showing her the comments that he's making towards other women? So I just think that communication is everything. You have to be woman enough to just put it out on a table. And I don't put the blame on the guy. I'm not going to point fingers at anyone because there's always two sides of a story. There's a truth, and there's that other side. And then you really understand everything. Is it three sides? Three sides of a story. Three sides of a story. But what is the truth ultimately?
Right. No doubt. Right. Good insight. Look, here's the thing, man. Y'all got to speak up, because if you don't speak up because you're afraid of losing the person, you may end up losing them anyway. Mel Money, you got some thoughts on this one, man?
I agree with everyone on the panel. I mean, based on her letter, the one thing that stood out to me that she mentioned, she stated that everyone she's been in a relationship cheated on her. And that pretty much tells me that she has a poor filtration process fixated on the wrong type of men she is normally attracted to, which of course shrinks her dating pool. But as everyone stated, the clear communication aspect is important. But also she has just based on the description, she has no more goals or personal guidelines because the lack of communication is a false premise within her relationship. So clearly she needs to step back and reevaluate what she wants for herself, because, hoping a man will change based on how long you've been with him, it's not going to change at any degree. Furthermore, I want to mention that I'm a firm believer that commitment should be taken seriously, especially from her fiance, even though we don't know the whole story. But waiting for your partner to change is the least effective strategy to a relationship, because it may lead to constant disappointments and resentments down the road. And the truth is, the only change she has control over is herself. If your partner chooses not to change, then you can either change your view to his or take it as a sign that it won't work out and move on.
No doubt. Yo, look, we didn't even get into it yet. This is DBDS Live. We just starting. We'll be back in about 60 seconds.
Are you single? Do you know about DBDSSingles.com? Are you ready to meet a quality man or a classy woman? The DBDS brothers want you to know that love and loyalty still exists. So if you're ready to meet relationship-ready people, sign up for a free trial. DBDSSingles.com, where quality men meet classy women.
What up, people? Back in the DBDS Live studio, it's your man Mo. I'm here with Princess Tonisha Chance and my man Mel Money. We are talking about why men play games. Right now, we got to go to Facebook, though. Mel Money, anybody on Facebook, brother?
Yes. I want to give a shout out to all my people that's watching. Shout out to Tiffany Daniels. Thank you for tuning in. Monica Francis. My man Henry said, go get them, boys. Shout out to George, Chanel Edwards, Kevin, Ruth. Michael Ellis said, happy Sunday. He also mentioned that excellent points. Having deep, intimate conversations with your partner is a process. You may have to do it in layers.
No doubt. Excellent point, Mel. All right, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to start getting into our show here. Let's talk a little bit about our first topic. Our first topic is going to be called, why men play games. One thing we know is maybe they're looking for a surrogate mother. All right, let's get into that a little bit deeper. All right, check this out. If you take that and you transform it into a sentence or a word, it means I'm not ready to take on adult responsibility, so I'm going to let somebody else take care of me. This is what I call the third son syndrome. All right, you already got two sons. He going to be your third son. All right, so look, so just watch out for this, y'all. We're going to get into this. That's why some men play games. They're lazy. They don't want to take on responsibility. It's a fact. It ain't got nothing to do with me. All right, I'm coming to you, Chance. Talk to us on this one, brother. You're looking for a surrogate mother.
Man. Look. Boy, I'm getting blasted first all the time, but I'm going to take this. And we got these two professional women here. Oh my goodness. But I would say, look at our communities. I'm going to break it down and take it further back than just what's right in front of us. Look at what's been done to our communities, and especially with the black men. The black men have been intentionally taken out of the home, and put in basically a situation where he has to be in survival mode. Because if you don't have shelter, what you gonna do? Other than put yourself in a position where you have shelter. And that's just a basic necessity of anyone, shelter. So you're going to do whatever is necessary in order to obtain that. And in the eyes of a black man that may not have anything, what better place to have shelter than with a woman of color that already has the basics of what you need? And then it comes with options, because let's be real here. You're getting shelter and you're getting the sex that comes with it. Hey, I'm just keeping it 100. It's a win-win.
Okay.
It's a win-win.
It's a big win-win.
So for the women, what I would say is this, be aware of the environment and who you're bringing into your space, because this person may be only coming into your space with just selfish intent, and there's a lot of women, let's be honest, there's a lot of single women out there with a lot of space, and these brothers know it. So guess what? They bouncing through you. They got a little space over here. They got a little space over there. Damn, they got a space everywhere. But it's only if you allow them to have that. So this is why, although it's both people's responsibility to form the relationship, I always put the most on the woman, not as a male chauvinistic point of view, but more so because, let's be honest, the black woman has always been the foundation of the black community. I wish one of y'all would challenge me on that. Please do, because that's my belief. And that's what I was raised with, nothing but a whole bunch of strong black women. So yeah, you take a man and you take away his basic needs from him, and then you say, go out there and fend for yourself. they're going to do what they have to do. I don't agree with it. I think it's wrong, but it's survival. And that's what it really comes down to.
No doubt. Princess, what's your thoughts on this?
My thoughts on this, I could totally agree with Chance. I just feel that a lot of times it does fall down on the woman, as far as like making those decisions. And so it's like, how do you find, how do you differentiate whether or not what this person's intentions are? And so it's just like, although, we're saying that women should be the one to kind of like take control of the situation, I still feel like there's just so much more. Like it's just so much more as to why there are some women who may not notice certain things, or why certain men are, have wrong intentions like that, is way deeper than what we see on the surface. So, I mean, I don't have much to say about, as far as everything else in regards to that, but I just know that there's always something else that is deeper as to why people behave the way that they do.
Yes.
Tonisha, thoughts?
So as I was listening to that, when you guys were talking about just the definition of a surrogate mother, every situation could look the same, but the motives and intents can be 100% different, right? So every situation is not a cookie cutter. But as I thought about it, I was actually jotting down like in my mind, so I didn't get discombobulated speaking it. But first and foremost, like Chance said, this is way deeper than we can even get into this show. Number one. First, we have children raising children. So we don't have positive male role models in the home for them to necessarily model after. Two, in defense of the Black man, everything is a little more difficult for them. More difficult for them to get jobs, more difficult for them to start businesses. There's a lot of different obstacles that are in their way. That's number two. Also, the government has made it easier for women to run the household. That's just what they've done. We have etched the Black man out. If they are on the lease, there's no assistance. If they are in the household, there's no government assistance, there's no rental assistance, there's no food assistance. So it's just easier to say, well, let me just be by myself and have you come in and out kind of as you please. It's easier that way, right? So then now we've strengthened up in that way where we've had to learn to take care of ourselves, learn to take care of the children. Because if they're in the house with us, we might not have the benefits, but then the Black man doesn't have the benefits that the white man has, unfortunately, sad to say, but they just don't. So now we run into a whole slew of other issues of men, like Chance said, having a place here, having a place there, having a place everywhere, because those women can't have them in the house anyway. And then that leaves out, we left submission by the wayside. We left letting the man lead by the wayside. So sometimes they just don't want to be there full time. So as far as a surrogate mother, I think that they're just looking for something that they were missing. And Black women are the pillar. We're the lap that they want to rest their head in. I mean, this story goes all the way back to the Bible with Samson and Delilah. They just need somebody to rest their head in. And that could be anybody. Now, the problem where we have to bear the burden is when we say, okay, this is not what we're going to kind of do it anymore. We need a little bit more and we require more. And I expect more. And then that's when they're going to give more because they have no other choice, or they're going to walk away either way. But that's my take on that.
Yeah, listen, I'm telling you, there's a complexity associated with this topic that's really deep.
Yes.
Mel Money, what's your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, pretty good insight from the panel. I mean, shout out to all the brothers that are there. And my insight is not directed towards, before I get deep, it's not directed to the brothers that are financially stable or looking for ways to overcome obstacles. But this is why I feel having a great father or a great father figure can apply some guidance and direction to our daughters, because, they get older and they may experience the dated world due to the effect that particular brother has on the child. And I'm referring to the brothers out there that purposely are looking for sisters to be their savior and not their supporter. I'm very pro-father. I've been through rough things in my life, but I never whine and complain. I always figure out a way to do things. And as well as the brothers that I surround myself with, such as Mo and others. But that's what I feel is a mother and child relationship, which simply means a man is 100% dependent on his woman emotionally, financially, and physically, and he's not looking at ways to improve himself. And when the brother whines and complains that he simply can't get ahead in life, or for example, you're the one who's looking for a job on his behalf while he puts in no effort, or he makes excuses as to why he can't contribute, then this will force a sister to be, in my view, more masculine, which means she cannot provide this dependent little boy her natural feminine essence, because she has to play both roles, which I don't think is fair. And truthfully, reversal roles are promoted so much in, you know, I would say traditional media as well as social media, that women don't realize that shooting their shot is the gateway or beginning to a mother and child relationship. Because if a woman is leading and pursuing on a consistent basis, this allows an opportunistic user, these bum guys out here, to sit back, relax, and gain the benefits from a sister who provides them with everything with minimum effort from his end. And sadly, women who accept this behavior don't realize that he's no longer your man. He's more like an adopted son. And I truly believe that brothers who don't have anything going on or refuse to improve themselves are broken, and all they do is looking for a broken women. So I see some on social media that will say like, "Oh, that's so old school. That's back in the day." No, it's not. I think a man has naturally the leadership capabilities. Some brothers just refuse to tap in, or they didn't have someone to show them or guide them to that direction. So this goes back when I tell my sisters that, listen, you can upgrade a man's style or way of life, but you never can upgrade a man's intent or character. And it's a sister's responsibility to select the right one to grow with.
No doubt. Now, listen, I just want to make a quick comment because, you know, I know this is a complex subject. You know, there's a lot of layers to it, but let me just say this. I can't make excuse for anybody, because I can tell you this right now. You got 3 men right here, and I guarantee you we all went through hardship. It wasn't easy coming up. But ain't nobody up here making excuses. You got to do your own thing, man. You got to figure out your purpose and find your own way. And if you can't do that, tap one of us on the shoulder. I guarantee you we'll be there to help you out. I'm going to leave it at that. All right, Mel Money. We got some Facebook people, man. You want to read these comments before we move on? Let me go ahead and throw them up here for you, brother.
Okay. So Michael Ellis said, learning how to ask men open-ended questions and recording their answers is one way to decipher a man's motives. Okay, very true. Nicole Marie Brown said, "Facts, Tonisha." Okay.
No, you know it's facts, man. It's facts.
Facts.
we gotta love that.
Tiffany Daniel said, "Love that." Okay. And last but not least, my homegirl Ebony said, "Hey Mel and DBDS family." Yeah, shout out to you, Ebony. Make sure you have that banana pudding ready. No doubt.
No doubt. All right, y'all. We're gonna keep it rolling, man. We're gonna keep this rolling. We're gonna go into our next subject. Look, next subject right here. Next topic we're gonna talk about. This one doesn't even really need an introduction, but I'm gonna introduce it anyway. You know, a lot of dudes, they play games, man, because they need that sexual gratification. You know, the thing is this. Listen. A lot of guys, I mean, this is a complex subject too, because I got a whole philosophy on this. So I'm gonna keep it surface level, because we'll be here. I eat the rest of the show up, so I'm not gonna do that. But all I'm gonna say is this: some guys are unavailable, or unable or unwilling to control their hormones. You know, that's something you got to work at. You know, y'all women, they made women so desirable that dudes get stupid, right? You got to work on yourself and make sure you have self-control. That's one thing a guy has to do. He has to learn to do that. That's his responsibility. All right. And you can't be selfish. You know, you can't just care about yourself, you know, and then just decide you're going to just, you know, bring a harm and, you know, problems to this woman's life by just, you know, trying to satisfy your own sexual gratification. Those things, you know, you got to figure out. That's morals. You got to have morals when it comes to that. All right, Chance, I'm gonna give you a break, brother. I'm gonna give you a break. I'm not even coming to you, man.
Thank you, sir.
I'm coming to you, Tonisha, on this one. Let's talk about this one. A lot of men play games because they just need that sexual gratification. Talk to me.
All right. Well, here's the thing. You know, with men, we know that 80 to 90% of their gratification comes from sex or some form of sexual gratification. In relationships, classes, courses, they tell you that the woman's number one need is physical. That's just what it is. Unfortunately, you have some men out here where it is misdirected and slightly misguided. There is no problem with obviously wanting that as your number one need. The problem comes in at is where you are selfish, you're self-centered, you're hurting women, you're passing out diseases, you are all over the place. You at one woman's house and then another woman's house, and listen, this gets so deep that we don't even have enough time for that, for just the energy swapping that you're doing on yourself and your home. But between the sexual energy is the highest form of manifestation energy that you can have, period, point blank, period. So if you are handing it out like you shuffling a deck of cards and you passing the hands out to everybody, you're really only depleting yourself. At day's end, if you're the woman and you know that all he's there is for is sexual gratification, then again, I put accountability always on the person that's in the situation. If I know that there's a guy, or I have best friends that all they tell me is that the guy only comes over for sex and then he hops up and gets up and leaves, then it's up to you to stop that. Either one, stop sleeping with him, or two, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the movie Pretty Woman. I say who, I say when. Then now you have to take that power back into your hands and say, okay, well, if I so want it, then I'm going to get it, but it's not going to be only on his terms. It's so generic and general that it's hard to really pinpoint what's going on when it's just sexual gratification. But I mean, at some point, the woman is going to get sick of that, but that's up to her to kind of nip that in the bud and say, okay, enough's enough. This is not what I'm willing to do anymore. I want more. You're not willing to give more. I have to move on from this. And I'm sorry, it's just what it is.
Princess, what's your thoughts on this? Some men play games because they need that sexual gratification.
I totally agree with Tonisha. So here's the thing. When it comes to a woman, women are more emotional per se, for the most part. Not all women, but most women are more emotional. For a man, I think it's more of a behavior. I don't even think it has anything to do with emotion. Now, when you're intimate and you want that sexual gratification, that is a soul tie automatically. So like Tonisha was saying about energy and everything like that, when a woman is giving herself to a man who is emotionally unavailable, that is a problem. And then that guy who is just doing it as a behavior, he's not doing it through emotions. So as he's doing it, he's affecting all these different women, and he's only one person affecting all a mass of women. And then each woman is dealing with these emotional soul ties to these men who are doing this. So like Tonisha said, it is about a woman stepping up and saying, you know what, enough is enough. I'm tired of being treated as a convenience. You know that he's only using you for sex. And you're basically feeding his appetite by giving him the gratification that he needs. Now, it goes deeper, even deeper with the man, because you really start to question, well, why is he behaving this way? What is it that he's missing? Is he insecure? What is it that he needs from sex or have to be sleeping with multiple women to feel that he's important? Or is it just a behavior? So it's just a matter of, is he doing it intentionally to hurt women? Is he doing it just to feed his appetite? Is he doing it because something that he was brought around? You know, uncles teach him, yo, you smash all these women. You'll be, the best. You're a beast. You'll be a beast if you sleep with all these women. But what are we teaching our young men at home? It really starts from the fundamentals of a child being raised. And like Tanisha said, we don't have enough time to talk about everything on the show, but I really look at it. It starts from home. We don't know what people have been through, how this man was raised as to why he's behaving this way and why no one has even told him that this is a problem. And if he continues to do it and not think that is a problem, then he might need some therapy. Because now this is a whole nother level. If you're at an age and you're mature enough and you still keep having sex with people and you not being affected emotionally, like, I don't understand. How could a woman be affected and she's a hoe? But when it comes to a man, he's not affected, but he's like a I don't even know what the term is for a guy who has sex.
Right.
So I just think that, like Tonisha said, it's all about a woman really taking the initiative to be like, you know what, enough is enough. A woman shouldn't have to go through those emotions. Women are emotional for the most part, and we have to step up. The guy, if 10 women turn down that guy, he's not going to be able to do it with those 10 women. So he's going to start to question himself. Well, okay, all right, I'm getting rejected. Now it's time for reflection.
Right.
Now you're not getting the sex. So who are you? So you think you're all that when you're around your boys because you've had sex with all these women. But when these women are unavailable, women, come on, we have to be empowered. We have to take, the initiative to stop this type of behavior. It only is going to happen as long as you allow it to happen. It's very simple. If he calls you and wants to have sex all the time on Friday night or Saturday night, and you get a text message at 2 a.m, he's drunk after the club and he wants to have sex. So why keep answering it? Obviously, something may be wrong with you. Maybe there's some seeking that you need to do within yourself, and that you need to do some self-reflection and figure out why you keep letting him have sex with you. And like I said, it goes deeper, and I don't want to keep going on, but for a woman, she may be feeling a lack of something in her life. Maybe she doesn't have a consistent person in her life, and I don't understand, why it's such a hard thing when it could easily be stopped. But, it's life, and it just happens. It happens as long as we allow it to happen. Is how I look at it.
No doubt. And just a quick comment, Princess, you hit on something real critical. I got a whole philosophy on being able to change males' behavior, and for a single woman to do it, it's pretty difficult for a single woman to do it, a single woman herself. But if you got a community of women, trust me, they could change the males' behaviors because they set expectations, and they would change the whole game. Coming to you, my man Chance, talk to me on this one, man. Dudes play games because they want that sexual gratification.
Listen, first and foremost, much love to these two goddesses for their responses, because I'm with you on all of that. But I believe it was Tonisha that said something about that, or even both women made reference to the fact that women are more emotional and men were physical. That's just the reality. So and this is why I put a lot of the onus of the responsibility on the woman, not because that it should be fully their responsibility, but because they are more emotionally balanced. Men, we're like the lion that has all the lionesses around him, banging all the lionesses, having all these kids. And think about it, even biblically, let's break it down. These kings had wives with a Z on the end. So this is, for a man, this is our nature. It's not personal. It's not that we don't have love or feelings for you, but it's just that for a man, it's going to take a woman, and like Mo said, a community of women to do the same thing and make us understand that it ain't about that life. You are not the lion with the lionesses. You are not King Solomon with a whole bunch of wives. That's not what it is today. So we have to understand that, because for me as a man, honestly, I can honestly say to this day, and I'm going to be just straight up, I could have sex with another woman and it would mean nothing to me. And that's just being real. Because it's not a physical, it's not a mental connect. It's just the physical act, and I could keep it moving and not think twice about it. And this is what I do understand about myself, and this is why I don't put myself in those positions. I go to work, I come back home. Even if I am a little bit flirtatious, you better be in another state, because I'm not even trying to take the chance at risking my relationship for a moment that what let's be honest, if I'm having a good night, I might give you 35 45 minutes, but on a short, just boom, 5 minutes, I'm done. Why am I gonna Why am I going to risk my relationship for that? You know, hey, forgive me for just keeping it 100, but this is just how I do.
This is what we love about you guys.
I love women so much, and I hate the fact that I feel like I put so much weight on your shoulders. But the truth of the matter is, Black men in general, we have always put the weight on your shoulders. This is nothing new. And if it's something new to you, y'all need to, go back and reevaluate what's really going on. Because this has always been our truth in our communities. And here's another thing that I just wanted to mention. A lot of young Black men have never had Black men in their lives teaching them the positive things that they need to know. So this is the reason why you have this disconnect in the Black, one of the many reasons that you have this disconnect in Black and brown communities, because the Black man has been done so dirty by the system in general. And let me go back to this real quick. In Black communities, inner cities especially, and a lot of poor rural Black areas, where are a lot of the Black men? In jail. So guess what? The woman's options are limited.
I can't.
So it makes, for the Black man that's not in jail, it gives him a whole lot of options. Because there's a lot more single Black women out here than there are single Black men. Let's keep it 100. Right. So this is the plight that we have to deal with. And I'm not saying that it's easy, but we have to come together and really figure this out. And Black women, I love y'all, but a lot of it is on you. We're followers. The truth of the matter is, in the Black community, the women have always been the leaders. Let's stop playing. Let's be 100 with this. We follow. If you like it, we'll love it. If you set the standard, we'll follow it. But if you don't set the standard, we're going to do what we do.
Oh, damn.
It's like that. Right. It's like that.
Yes.
It's like that.
Mic drop.
All right, Mel Money, man. We need to. I know you got to follow that, brother. Come on, give me your input on this one, man.
I'm sorry, Mel. I'm sorry, brother.
Give me your input on this one, Mel. I need it, brother. Come on.
Okay. Well,
hold on. Let me mention something real quick. All I want to mention while you recovering is that, listen, I talked about the community of women, right? So that's important also because there's a lot of married men out here trying to do the wrong thing. They're trying to do the wrong thing, right?
Yeah.
We need that community of women to help address that too. Y'all can cut all the legs of all this bad behavior. Y'all could change all that. Exactly. I just want to mention that. All right, Mel Money, it's on you, brother.
Well, I have to say that I agree with everybody on the panel about this wholeheartedly, man. But I have to say, just to focus on a particular set of brothers, a player's main objective is to have sexual encounters with as many women as possible. And if you're the type of woman who is looking for a lifetime commitment in a healthy relationship, you have to use logic, common sense, as well as your emotions, or else you'll be another sexual trophy added to his collection. And truthfully, we have to be honest. Some people do prefer passion and lust over love and trust. So you have to be mindful. But I believe this is where I believe a woman have to carry herself and present herself to a certain degree, as we discussed the whole community. And this way, this will strengthen her filtration process along with her moral codes or personal guidelines. And this will put all the odds in her favor because the hustling player will play until he realizes that it's time for him to graduate, which means to settle down and find a woman who he can build his legacy with. But until then, you have to be aware of brothers who will only, as Chance eloquently stated, that brothers will just use you for recreational purposes, just to smash your chocolate chip cookies. Because if you allow the wrong one to penetrate you, then you may catch an STE, which stands for sexually transmitted energy. And this is the definition as Princess stated, soul ties. And if you're not careful, you can put yourself out, I feel like, in a very deep emotional hole, which will be very hard to dig yourself out of.
No doubt. Yeah. Yes, we're going to go back to Princess. She got something she want to add. Go ahead, Princess.
I just want to add something, as Tramel was saying, from, a spiritual standpoint. I remember being at church and this woman did a demonstration. She took some eggs and she put the eggs into a like a bowl, and each egg represented your sexual encounter. When the eggs went together, the yolk and the egg white mixed together. So those was considered, that was a demonstration of soul ties being put together. You cannot separate those soul ties once they come all together. And one thing I'm going to say about, you know, the women community being important is so true. I've practiced celibacy for a very long time. And one thing that I can tell you that was a struggle is that I couldn't date. I wanted to date, and I tried to be with men who were like, you know, spiritual, you know, because I knew that the power of just being with someone outside of sex, the importance. And so I read this book with Megan Good and her husband. It's called The Weight. And I started with this guy who was, you know, spiritually connected, and he read the book with me. But even him, he was a minister, and he couldn't even fight the temptation. So I just really began to struggle. Well, should I be celibacy? Should I practice celibacy? You know, or, you know, what am I going to do? So as a community, yes, the women have to come together and, you know, shut things down. But what about the man? What about the man being that stronghold, you know, being in it with the woman because he knows she's a strong, virtuous woman? What about the men who are strong, who's going to, you know, be that person to say, you know what? No, babe, like, you look too good. You know, we're not going to even sleep. We're not going to even sleep in the same room. We're not going to Netflix and chill. We're not going to do any of that because I value you too much. So that goes back to the intention. What is your intention with that woman? So if your intention is just to have a sexual encounter, of course, you're not going to really care about that. But if you're trying to make this woman your wife, you're not going to touch her because you know it's going to be valuable. But one thing that I would run into is that men said, well, I don't want to wait till marriage. What if it's not good? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, what's important for a woman may be unimportant for a man. And I think it is, like Mo was saying, like Mel was saying, it's a matter of a woman you just have to be strong enough, and the right man is going to come along, and he's going to appreciate your celibacy. You're not going to have to compromise yourself and give yourself to a person who just wants you for sex. And eventually, when you create that type of narrative, then men aren't going to treat women as convenience because of what we allow. So
no doubt. Listen, I see a couple of heads nodding. I think maybe we got some more responses. I think Chance probably got something to say. I just want to add this here. People, listen, there's a big misconception out there that sex is the crown jewel. That's a big misconception. It's good, it's steak, it's all that, but guess what? It's not the crown jewel. When you've been with somebody for 25 years and y'all been through trials and tribulations, ups and downs, and you held it together, you fought the fight, that's the crown jewel. Sex and at some point, guess what? Sex is gone, y'all. It's gonna be gone, or it's gonna be modified into a different thing. You know what I mean? So that's not it, man. You know, we gotta think deeper than that. Anybody else got any comments before we move on? Okay, Chance, my man, go ahead.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I'm not going to agree with you with that sex is gone thing. I'm going to try to keep it forever. But anyway, on that note, what I would say is, like, once again, love what everybody's saying. We just, man, it's men. We have not had the proper guidance that we truly need in order to make these positive decisions that we need to make, especially when it comes to relationships, you know, and this goes to what me and the brothers were talking about earlier. This whole system, the way that it's set up for us to fail. You know, this is the reason why in the late 80s, early 70s, they took the black man out of the household in the first place. It had nothing to do with it had more to do with breaking up black families than it had to do with anything else, because they understood the power. Once you got to think, by this time that they started implementing all this stuff, this was right after the Malcolm X. This was right after the Martin Luther King. You know, they realized how powerful that the black man was, and it's like, oh no. And what's their greatest fear other than the black man? So yes, of course, they did everything to put us in a situation where we could not succeed. And unfortunately, the black woman had to carry the brunt of that weight.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for the black women. But what I will say is, if you're going to be mad at us because we deserve some of that, but also be mad at this messed up system that put us in that predicament in the first place.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Tonisha. You have something you want to add, Tonisha?
Yeah, very short, sweet, and to the point. I do want to say though, I don't like male to bash men, so I like to say this as eloquently as I can. But here's the thing. Unfortunately and fortunately, in some cases, the woman does have the power. We do have the accountability because only us can say no or yes. But what I will say is I in one of the books that I published, is called Women Stop the Madness. One of the topics, one of the chapters is called Sex Heals. Now, although men are more physical and women are more emotional, we carry more of the emotional brunt, and we're a little bit more balanced in how we think. At the same time, the men that are out here thinking that they're players, there is still something missing right up in here, something deep. And it is being fulfilled by those women, no matter how many it is. They just don't know what it is. But there is a void that the black woman or whatever woman is filling for them during those sexual encounters, whether they know it or not. There is energy transfer. Listen, I'm gonna just be real. There was times me and my husband were separated and he would come over and we would have sex, and I knew that it was me that uplifted him. It was me that gave him that spurt to go back out into that world and do what he needed to do. I knew that it was my energy he was borrowing. But the key is I was aware of what I was doing. I didn't look at it like, oh, he's taking advantage of me. He's just coming over here doing, no. I knew exactly what I was doing. And I knew exactly what was happening. So at the same time, they need to do some self-evaluating to see, like, why do I need to keep hopping? Yes, some of it is ego, but some of it is that they are actually in need of something that those women are offering them. And the only way that they know how to express it is through sexual gratification, because they don't always know how to express things through their emotions or communication. But guess what? A lot of men could talk with that stick they got. They just feel like that communicates all, but it doesn't. It just confuses us at some time. So that's all I just wanted to say.
So true.
No doubt. Thank you for that input. Yes. We needed that. Listen, Mel Money, we're gonna hit up. Let's hit up Facebook, and then we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back and do our Jerry Springer moments. All right. So let's hit up Facebook. I got a few comments. I'm only take about 4, man. Here's one right here, Mel.
Okay, so it states self-control is one of the most attractive traits a man can have. A man who has self-control will remain loyal to you and all of his commitments. Ooh, okay. Next. All right, another self-control comment is quality choice. Each man must be more accountable. Men who have the ride or die attitude are being self-centered. Women must tell that man, no cookies today. Hold him accountable.
All right. Final comment right here.
All right, Nicole stated, I think sometimes it is just simple. If he can get what he wants from you, he will. If he wants more, he'll wait, put in the necessary efforts to spend time with you. All right.
Boom.
Simple as that.
Simple.
All right, y'all. This is DBDS Live. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about our Jerry Springer moment, Jerry Springer last words moments. All right. So sit tight. We'll be back in about 90 seconds.
Are you single? Do you know about DBDSSingles.com? Are you ready to meet a quality man or a classy woman? The DBDS brothers want you to know that love and loyalty still exists. So if you're ready to meet relationship-ready people, sign up for a free trial. DBDSSingles.com, where quality men meet classy women. Dear brothers, it's about quality, not quantity.
So guys, it should be your conversation, the way you flow, your presence is enough for a woman to want to be around you, not how much money you spend.
Dear sisters, it's about knowing your value.
My sisters out there, don't be afraid to scare a guy off just because you have standards.
Dear brothers, dear sisters, it's time to come together.
What up, my people? Back in the DBDSLIVE studio. We've been talking about why men play games. It's been a crazy discussion. You know, we went through some history. We talked about, we got to a deep level. You know, we gave you all kind of input. So hopefully we help somebody out there today. Right now, I'm going to my panel, though. We're going to do our Jerry Springer moment, our final words, our show summary. Take it away, Princess. Let's see what you got to say. Final words.
My final words is that we have to change the trajectory of things from a man and a woman perspective. I think that the whole relationship, the meaning behind it, what it truly is, has been degraded. Like it's all based more so upon sex, and it's not about the deeper things like spiritual connection, emotional connection, certain things that needs to be implemented into a relationship to have a fulfilling relationship. And I think a lot of times people are so broken and there's underlying issues within each individual that is never discussed in the beginning of a relationship, because a lot of people may feel embarrassed about putting themselves out there. A lot of people don't want to be vulnerable in the beginning of building a relationship. But I think communication is the key. You have to be willing to set standards as a woman, as a man. Even men should have standards as well as women. And I think it's just a matter of just truly taking control of your future, not settling for what you think is going to help you at the time, because what you feel that you need is not what you need. It's a knowing, because feelings come and go. But when you have a knowing that you know that if you're being intimate with multiple men or you're being intimate with multiple women, but you want to get married in the next year, that's not aligning with what you have a goal to accomplish. So therefore, you need to align yourself. You're going to have to make certain sacrifices in order to get to the next step, whether that's being celibate, whether that's you separating yourself from people, whether that's you stop drinking, stop going out, hanging out with certain people, hanging out with single people who just wants to be out there and, just partying and everything like that. You want to set yourself up. You want to get spiritually fed. You want to do these things to empower yourself. You want to be confident as a person, as a man, as a woman, and you want to take control over the trajectory of your life. You want to make sure that everything that you're doing is going to align and get you to that destination. So I just think that in order to build a healthy relationship is really a matter of a person being fully whole with themselves as much as they can, putting their best foot forward, and if you don't have that, you will never be able to build a healthy relationship. And you have to be comfortable enough to go into a relationship and say, listen, these are the things that I'm dealing with. Okay. These are the things that I'm dealing with. Is that something that you can handle, and really have a mature conversation, because it's worse to get into a situation and hurt someone in the long run than just stop the situation right before it explodes, because there's too many broken men. There's too many broken women in our community. And it's sad, because what it does, it creates this fear. Fear is false evidence of things appearing real. Before you even try to get into a relationship with someone, you are already afraid of things that isn't even revealed to you yet because of the things that you've been through. So I think, again, it's about really, truly seeing who you are, doing some self-reflection and making sure that you're ultimately healed before getting into a relationship. Because a lot of times people get into relationships to fill voids, just like Tanisha was saying before. People have sexual encounters to fill a void, and we all have fell victim of that in the past. But it's a point in your life where you say, you know what, enough is enough. I need to assess myself and see why I think that this is going to help me. We have to just be willing to take certain sacrifices. You have to know how to be alone. I truly believe in the power of singleness. Myself personally, I'm single. I've been single for 3 years. And I truly believe in singleness because it has allowed me to identify the things that have hurt me in the past, my behavior in the past. And I know that in my future, the man that I'm going to be with, I know that if I had met him years ago, I would not have been able to put my best foot forward. So you want to be the best version of yourself as possible. We're not going to be perfect. There's going to be trials and tribulations in a relationship, regardless. That's just a fact. That's just life. But when you put your best foot forward when getting in a relationship, it just makes a relationship so much more meaningful. And that's what I'm all about, is being healthy, having a healthy mind, you know, getting spiritually connected, emotionally connected. And I think everything else will just come into manifestation.
Words of wisdom. Tonisha, final words.
My final words are, as it relates to relationships and getting what you want out of it, the first things first is successful relationships are born from successful people. And when I say successful, I don't mean the success that everybody thinks, like, you know, a lot of money and cars and fame and success. Successful people are people that reach their personal goals, bottom line, whatever that is for you. So a lot of times people think, and this is not the truth, but the great changes that happen in your life, and this is a motto that I live by, the great changes that happen in your life are not made gradually over periods of time. The great changes that happen in your life are the result of conscious decisions made at specific moments. That's it. So if I am in a self-development, personal development phase of my life, then and I say, oh, I want to patience, or I want, I want to learn how to deal with this. And then it's presented to me. And every time it's presented to me, I do the same exact thing that I did last time. There's not going to be any change in my life, my relationship, the things that I'm doing, any of those things. Secondly, your words and your actions have to align, period. If I say, oh, I'm looking for a man that's going to take care of me and be the best man he could be for me, and I'm looking for a husband, but I'm in the club every night till 2 a.m., my words and my actions don't align, because the man that I'm going to meet there is probably not going to be the man that offers me that. Or if homeboy texts at 11 p.m., 12 a.m., talking about something, you up? And I say, yeah, I'm up. Then my words and my actions are not aligning. That's first and foremost. So then the next thing is just figure out what you're truly looking for. Because a lot of people say they're looking for something, but that's not what they're looking for. I have friends, people that, no, I want a husband, I want a man, but that's not what you really want. Because if that's what you really wanted, certain things in your life would change. And until you find out what you truly want, and you got to be honest with yourself. That's the problem with most people. They're not honest with themselves. They say what they think other people want to hear, or they say what they think sounds good, is politically correct. No woman's going to say, well, I kind of really just want to thot around right now. I mean, that's the phase of life I'm in. That's what I want to do. I want to have sex with as many men as I can, and then I want to settle down. Nobody's going to really say that. They're going to say what's politically correct. They're going to say, oh, I'm looking for a good, wholesome man that's going to take care of me and my kids. And that's not where they're at right now. So don't say anything, because as long as your words and your actions don't align, you're going to keep attracting pandemonium in your life. Period. That's it. You're just going to keep attracting situations that you have to decipher through and say, okay, I want this and I don't want this. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but you have to really just sit down and evaluate and be honest with yourself about the things that you truly want, and then let your words and your actions and your conscious decisions that you're making on a day-to-day basis align so that they can get you what you say you want. That's it.
Important message. I hope y'all picked it up. Coming to you, Chance. Final words, brother.
I appreciate definitely what both of these goddesses said. Princess, when she speaks of singleness, I definitely appreciate that. And I think it's really what's needed desperately in our communities, not just for the women, but for the men as well. How can we have this singleness within our communities while we're trying to be the best version of ourselves, but still have relationships that without the sex being a part of it? So when we do make that decision to go to that next level, we're bringing the best version of us to that. So we're making sure that we're putting ourselves in a position where we're fulfilling what that other person truly needs. So that singleness is something like, for example, me, I haven't been single very long ever in my life. I went from one relationship, keeping it 100. Sometimes I went to the next relationship before I even left the last relationship.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
But there are other times where I just, out of fear of being by myself, I just jumped on board to the next thing, because it was like, how am I going to do this by myself? How am I going to do this alone? Especially as a Black man that, never really had his own. So I went from being raised by my grandmother to being a product of being in the military, to realizing that 6 years didn't do crap for me. And I was still at the same point that I was at when I went in. So I basically lost 6 years of my life, then feeling like I had to have the next relationship. And even with my wife and I, we've had our ups and downs. I've left, we've been separated, but we came back together. So there's that singleness is very important in our community. And also, to Tonisha's point, the action and the words coming together. We'll talk a lot of game, but at the end of the day, if the actions aren't going with what's being said, it's all pointless, worthless, and it's all trash. So with that in mind, we have to be strong enough within ourselves to not allow our sexual needs and desires to be more important than what our expectations are in a relationship. Let's be real. We're all only imperfect human beings. Sexual, if you're any level close to normalcy, sexuality is a part of your life, and it's going to be. So we have to acknowledge that. And in our community, we need to let all of the noise coming from the outside of our community be just exactly that, noise. You ain't got in on this. You know what I'm saying? Look, if you ain't got in on this, you can't have none of this. All these other people on the outside talking, they ain't in on this. It's of no concern to them. But also in our community, we need more. I see a lot of Black men uplifting Black men. I see a lot of Black women uplifting Black women. Where are the Black men uplifting the Black women? Where are the Black women uplifting the Black men? This is the only way that we're truly going to be able to have the unity, the support, and the expectations that we need from ourselves through us.
Real talk. DBDS Live. Mel Money. Final words, brother.
I just want to thank this amazing and insightful, knowledgeable panel. Tonisha, Princess, Chance, you guys are simply amazing. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. Thank you. So I just want to finish off. Thank you. So I just want to finish off and state that self-love and self-confidence are two separate traits. And when these two elements are combined as one, it creates a fierce woman. The kind of woman who can't be played with, used, and cannot be broken. But in order for this woman to emerge, she has to fall madly in love with herself so she can attract healthy love. This way, she's not easily influenced by the wrong man, and by any means will not settle for less or tolerate any level of disrespect.
Man,
Love it.
Thank you, Mel. Listen, I want to thank our guests too, Princess, Tonisha, Chance. Man, every time I have a show, every time we do a show, I learn something new. I really want to thank you guys for coming on our show. My final words are going to be real short, but hopefully they're to the point and they make an impact. What I feel is this: we have not respected the community of relationships. What do I mean by that? Okay, if you didn't go to school and you didn't go to college, and I give you a college test, chances are you're gonna fail. Okay, because you didn't train, you didn't learn what it was about. You don't have the education, you don't have the experience needed to pass that test, right? So now, if you go to school though, and you go to college, then I give you the test, you got a good chance of taking that test and passing it. All right, relationships are no different. It's not simple, you guys. So that's why a lot of us are failing in that arena. You have to get your training. Take the time to do the training. Take the time to learn what it means to be in a relationship, and you'll have a better chance of having success. Mel Money, send us off, my brother.